Welcome back, my friends. It is time for another video with our 55 grain full metal jacket boat tail from Bob's Bulk Bullets. We've done primer tests, we've done crimp tests, we've done overall length tests, we've done some basic initial accuracy tests, which have been very good. So today is all about accuracy. It's been a couple videos since we've really shot some impressive groups. So today's video, I am looking for impressive groups. And to do that, we're going to switch over to a couple of VihtaVuori powders. So cheap bullet, expensive powder, but I'm thinking it might just be the key to some accuracy, brother. First up is N133. This is the faster of our two options. The other is N135, a little bit slower. I also have N140, but that's really more suitable for heavy bullets. You know, our 69 or 77 or 75 grain bullets, something like that. N140 might be the right powder to bring into play, but I think today 133 and 135 will be the ones to go with. Now for low data, you know, Bob's Bullets, we're on our own here. We're trying to make it up as we go. So I've checked the VihtaVuori website, which has a lot of data for Lapua bullets. And I've checked the Hornady manual, which has data for their 55 grain full metal jacket. And they have data for both of these bullets. I'm going to exceed Hornady a little bit and go closer to the VihtaVuori data. It was a little bit hotter. And with N133, our max charge is going to be 24.5 grains. We'll shoot half grain steps here for this initial test, so 22.5 up to 24.5 is our range. With N135, we're bumping up exactly 1 grain, so we'll be shooting 23.5 up to 25.5. For primers, we are going to go with the Federal AR small rifle match primers. These performed pretty well in our primer tests. And for brass, we're going to go with Lake City 556 brass. This has already been fully prepped and it's totally ready for primer, powder, and bullet. So that means I have run out of things to talk about and it is time to start priming. So we're starting to get some haters in the comments, you know, people hating on the Bob's Bullets, and I'm okay with that because we're on a quest for the truth here, right? A few more videos with the Bob's Bullets, testing some different powders and stuff, and then I want to start putting it up head to head with some other full metal jacket boat tail offerings for 223. And the first two that I've chosen, I actually just hit send on the order a few minutes ago. The first one's going to be the Hornady 55 grain full metal jacket boat tail. You know, a lot of people saying they pick them up at Cabela's right off the shelf for 10 bucks and shoot groups just as good as we're shooting here with Bob's. So that's the first one I want to check. I think Bob's is going to be better. I've shot some of the Hornadys, never had any luck, but I haven't shot them with this barrel. So we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to have a Bob's versus Hornady. And I also bought a box of the Lapua 55 grain full metal jacket boat tails. Now those guys aren't cheap, and I suspect we may have a little more problem squeaking out the necessary accuracy to outdo the Lapua. So those are our first two bullet head-to-head tests that are coming up. Now in this exact same order, I also picked up a bunch of the, I picked up a 500 pack of the 77 grain Sierra Match King with a cantilure. I've had several people request that I do a duplication sort of video series on the Mark 262 Mod 1 ammo. The 77 grain Sierra with the cantilure. So what I've also done is I ordered a box of the ammo. So the Mark 262 ammo from Black Hills, I've got a box of 50 of that coming and a box of 500 of the Match King. So I think that's going to be a fun little series to get started. It's nothing new. I mean, lots and lots of people have attempted and probably succeeded at cloning that round, but I want to give it my own treatment. I expect that to be a really good shooting round. So I'm looking forward to finding out. So yesterday's video on the Lyman Gen 6 just came out bad. I did not like that video. I'm not happy with the video. I wasn't happy with it when I hit the upload button. It just kind of came out as a jumbled mess. So I'll probably end up just doing a completely new video on the Lyman Gen 6 and deleting that old one eventually. Once I get a little bit more comfortable with it, maybe I can speak on the subject with a little bit more authority. It is a really handy unit. It makes this job a whole lot less tedious. As you can see, I am verifying every charge. It's, you know, it's consistently thrown a little bit low, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, which is good, which I like. So I'm taking it off, sprinkling in a couple kernels. I think I went too far there. So these charges should be absolutely perfect. So I'm having a really rough time today. I have just about quit. I've just about rage quit this reloading session, because the first 25 rounds with N133 went no problem at all. And then I got to weighing out all of my N135 charges. I got to like I think I was still in the third row. So I had weighed like 15 charges when I had a little funnel incident and accidentally banged my funnel against some of the cases, and freaking powder flew out everywhere, and I didn't know which cases the powder came from, and so I just had to dump the whole tray and start over. It's also a really, really good case for weighing 5 charges, seating 5 bullets. Weighing 5 charges, seating 5. But nope, I was trying to weigh them 25 at a time. So the next time around, I get to the last row. I'm 22, 23 charges into this thing, and I do the exact same thing again. I bump my funnel on the cases, powder goes spilling out, and I had to dump the whole thing again and start over. So this has just been one of those times, I'm telling you. You know, it's made worse by, you know, this is a pretty full case here with N135, which is a good thing. That often leads to some good accuracy. This is the middle charge. I was just kind of giving it some shake. I still feel a little bit of movement, so we're not quite to 100% load density. But I think in the last row we should get there. But it's not bad. It won't be like a super crunchy compressed load. It'll just be a nice full case. We did go with 2.260 for the overall length. Did I mention that? I don't even think I talked about that. But in our overall length test, we didn't see a lot of differences. Yeah, this next to last row here, I can't feel any more shaking going on. Let's make sure our overall length didn't grow any. Yep, 2.260. Still good. Yeah, and here's the first one from the last row. Let's see if we get any crunching. Nah, didn't feel or hear anything weird going on there. Finally, let's get out on the range. Okay guys, we're getting a bit of a late start. As you can see, with the sun being all weird right there, that'll be gone here in just a second. Our target is at 100 yards. The gun has an 18-inch white oak armament barrel. I'll have full details down in the description. So I just put this scope on this gun. This is my 6-24 power Vortex Viper PST. So I shot 5 rounds through the gun to get it sighted in with some other ammo. So the gun's, you know, warmed up, should be ready to start grouping here with our VihtaVuori powders. Now this scope does have a scope cam on it that I've had, you know, mixed success with so far, but I'm gonna play around with it a little bit more. You might see some scope camera footage added in, but it might be intermittent. So we are starting with 22.5 grains of N133. Okay, a bit of a rough start there in the group department. Moving on to 23.0. Okay, so our brass looks good. Standard deviation numbers are not too bad so far. Groups, not quite what we were hoping for. Next up, 23.5 grains, N133. All right, so that group was better all around. Best standard deviation so far, best group size, definitely. All right, moving on. 24.0 is next. Well, 4 out of the 5 looked good. Okay, our last chance with N133 is 24.5 grains. Brass so far has looked awesome, and this is probably going to put us in a pretty good spot with this faster powder. You know, I doubt we break 3100, so that's about perfect. I like it. All right, let's rock and roll. All right, no jaw-dropping groups with N133, but there's still hope with N135. I'll tell you what, let's move our scope up. Yeah, we'll move up 1 minute just to keep things a little closer. So I'm going to take a break for 15 or 20 minutes, make sure the barrel stays cool. It's definitely getting warm, so yeah, it could use a little break. And our brass with that max charge of N133 looks fine. I'll give you guys a closer look later at the bench. All right, so it's getting dark pretty quick. I don't mean to be alarmist or anything, but it's definitely time to get going. The barrel's had a few minutes to cool down. Yeah, I can touch it no problem now. So next up, N135. Our first charge is 23.5 grains. All right, that was a pretty good start with N135. Brass looked awesome. Our velocity's right there in the good area. One might even say the ballpark. And our best SD of the day. So yeah, I'm digging it. Let's move on, 24.0. Okay, moving on, 24.5 grains. Well, the battery finally died on my scope cam, and when I was taking it off, I realized that it wasn't tightened properly to begin with, so I'll get this thing figured out eventually. But I'm not sure if any of that footage will work. All right, next up, 25.0 grains of N135. Okay, last up, 25.5 grains. All right, so I think we managed to shoot a decent group or two, somewhere on there. We'll get back to the bench here in just a second and look at it. But before we do, I've got a bonus group that I want to shoot. This is what I was using to sight in the scope before we got started. It's some of my 2016 hunting ammo. This is 65 grain Game Kings with 26.3 grains of tack. During the sight in, it looked like these were really shooting well. So I want to shoot a quick 5-shot group of these guys. We'll move up an extra minute. These will shoot a little bit higher than our Bob's bullets did anyway. We'll add another minute. So with any luck, I'm going to aim at the center bottom dot, but hopefully we'll hit a little bit high, kind of in between the two lines of groups. That confusing enough? Okay, here we go. All right, so the main reason I wanted to do that is because this barrel's smoking hot now. So that's a pretty good shot on a smoking hot barrel. All right, let's get back to the bench. All right, first things first, the brass looked outstanding. Nice rounded primers. I couldn't find so much as a single extractor mark in this batch of brass. So the pressure signs looked excellent. Now, unfortunately, our groups were just overall a little bit disappointing. Our best group with the Bobs today was this 0.97 incher, which wasn't a particularly impressive 1-incher, you know. Things generally seem to tighten up a little bit with N135. Right, 3 of the 5 up here were over 1.5 inches, but down here 1.5 inches was our biggest group. So I think N135 was definitely our better shooter. And I have no doubt, you know, we could work this and find us a good load that shoots 1 inch or just over 1 inch. So overall, I mean, I guess that's not too bad. And maybe that does beat our average so far with the Bob's bullets. But I thought we might hit a magical combination and see some ridiculous groups. Just didn't happen. Velocity was great on both. We got up to right at 3100 on both of them, 3106 and 3094. And with the pressure signs we saw, I think each of them, you know, has got a little bit of additional room to work up. So we could always circle back around maybe. Oh, my bonus group. The bonus group ended up being a 0.74 inch group at 3,014 feet per second. So that wasn't bad. It was good to see that because at the time, like I said, I was running out of light. And I really, these last 15 shots or so, I probably shot them a little faster than I should have, you know. But by the time I got to this, that means, you know, it was pretty freaking smoking hot. That was a very hot barrel. So that's an excellent group. And just overall, I don't see anything that looks like barrel heat. I don't see anything that looks like fouling. But I mean, the gun was dirty when we started, so that wasn't really a concern. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point. Slightly disappointing, but still not too bad. N135 wins the day. So this is day number 24. All right, this is our 24th video in a row. We've posted videos every day in August. I've hit a little bit of a wall here, and I'm trying to push through it. There are some other videos that I've mentioned that were coming, like the Lee loader for pistol. I've been needing to do that video for 100 years. And some more milsurp stuff and, you know, some of the other things. I wanted to have variety in August, you know, see if we could cast a wide net and really grow as much as possible this month. But right now, I'm having fun with 223. I don't want to leave this and go to any of those. So we're just going to stick with it. Tomorrow is going to be another 223 video. If you're sick of this crap and just wish I would move on to something else, it'll happen pretty soon. But for now, I want to shoot a little bit more 223. So for tomorrow's video, I want to shoot VihtaVuori N140, the next one up, the slower option. It's you know, it's a little better suited for heavier bullets. But there's load data for 55s. Somebody in the comments specifically said that this shot lights out for them with Bob's bullets. So I want to go ahead and try VihtaVuori N140. The other one I'm seeing a lot come up in the comments is Hodgdon Benchmark. So tomorrow's video is going to be N140 and Benchmark. These are two more that, you know, very good possibility of being that magic powder that really tightens things up. I just have a feeling. Just have a feeling. But I'll tell you what, today's test, the N133 and N135, I think this might be a good test to repeat on other bullets. Like when we get our 55 grain Hornady full metal jackets and our Lapua 55 grain full metal jackets. Duplicating this video with those bullets might be a good one. With these here VihtaVuori powders. Because they're definitely pretty darn impressed. I mean, those, we didn't even really talk about the standard deviation numbers, and I won't dwell on it here. But they were pretty darn excellent. Our worst was 16.6 feet per second, and it was right beside our best, which was a 5.8. But 6 of the 10 were single digits. The ones that weren't that much over, so just good powders, man. These powders continue to impress me, and I think they give a bullet a really good opportunity to shine. So that's why I'm thinking these may be our initial test powders for those other bullets. So let's see. Anything else? I don't think so. I think that pretty much covers it. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you want to help support the channel, check me out at patreon.com/reloading. And I will see you guys tomorrow.